Welcome to Appetite for Cooking.
On today's episode, we make stew peas and rice. This is a traditional Jamaican dish. I grew up many times eating it. And on today's episode, my mom will be sharing her recipe with you, our audience.
Let's get started.
The first ingredients is ginger. The second thing is red pepper flakes. Next, green onions or scallions, garlic cloves, ground black pepper, half a shallot, dried thyme, pigtail, allspice, and 2 packages of red kidney beans.
We are tossing some flour on the counter, kneading the dough, and getting it ready so that we can make those spinners to be included in the stewed peas.
Okay, this flour has been sitting in this bowl. Now I'm going to remove it. And we're going to now make boiled dumplings, in this case, spinners. Let's flour your counter. And you'll have the dough sitting probably about 10 to 20 minutes, not long. Just pinch off some, roll it into long, thin strips of flour. Okay, this is my final one. These are the spinners that I will be adding to the stew peas as we simmer it down. But at this time, we're going to now work on the pigtail. Okay, we're going to saute the shallots, the green onions or scallions, and the garlic cloves before we add it to the stew peas, just for a little bit more texture. So that is what I'll be doing right now. And you don't want to burn any of these spices. Just a light saute. The oil I'm using is olive oil. You can use the oil of your preference if you choose to do it this way. We have just added the pigtails to this skillet, and we're going to brown both sides of it before we actually add this to the stew peas. We're browning it first just for more texture, and it's not a bad thing that I'm using the same pot because it has the essence of the vegetables that I've just sauteed. And you may get some of that flavor being absorbed by the pigtail as it browns. So I'm slowly increasing temperature because I don't want it to burn, but I do want it to brown. And I don't want it to steam. Trying to get that nice caramelized exterior before we take it to the stew pot. I'm continuing to turn this as it browns, as you can tell. Make sure we're getting the exterior that we're seeking before we put it into the stew peas. As you can see, our pigtail is getting nice and brown. This pigtail that we got from the meat market was cut up and is not salted. We actually had cut it up in smaller pieces, and we will then add salt to the pot that has this piece in it to render a little bit more flavor to the dish. More of a pinch of salt, or no more than a tablespoon of salt, actually a teaspoon of salt, correction, a teaspoon of salt. Is this the texture that is what we want, Mom?
Yes, yes.
Do you think it's time to move it over to the stew pot?
Just a few more pieces.
A little bit more?
Yes,
Okay.
about those 3 pieces.
Okay.
Yeah. You can do it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll keep turning.
yes. Okay.
Okay, I think we're getting to the exterior that we're looking for. Wouldn't you say so, Mom?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, so it's popping, so it's running low on oil. So I'm just going to reduce the heat on this.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'll just turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just move this over to the stew pot.
Mm-hmm.
When we come back, this will be in the stew pot, and it will be stewing down, simmering down, and
And you're gonna add your ingredients.
tenderizing in that stew pot.
Right.
Okay, I've just added the pigtail.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're going to add our spices.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here are the caramelized garlic, shallots, green onions or scallions that I had lightly sauteed, pepper flakes,
Ginger,
your thyme, more thyme,
Mm-hmm.
and if you do want the exact measurements of what we're putting into the stew, check out our social media and we will give you the recipe for this dish. This is your black pepper. And as I said, the pigtail is not salted already, so we are not adding salt to this. I almost forgot the pimento seeds, the ground pimento seeds, which is also known as allspice. So let's add that in. Now, you and me know, right, Mom? Mm-hmm. Stew peas is nothing without spinners.
Yes. Sure right.
So we're going to be adding spinners to this so they could cook down with everything else that we've added to this wonderful stew. Okay, here's one. Here's a second one.
The recipe for spinners is not in this episode, but continue to follow our channel because later on we will have an episode out for your review.
So as I said before when I was making these spinners, we've added a little bit of cornmeal to it just to give it a better texture. My mom had suggested that, so that's why we've made it that way, which absolutely makes a lot of sense because when you have flour, maybe a little bit too soft and it may start falling apart and won't keep its shape when you're boiling your dumplings. So that makes a whole lot of sense. So we're going to put the lid on this and let it cook down and thicken up further and have the pigtail get cooked and also the dumplings get cooked and the peas get more tender. Okay, so we'll check back in a few minutes and you can see the result. Okay, I think this is ready. Look how nice and thick the stew is. Pigtail seems to be cooked. The color is wonderful. Doesn't look soupy when it pours off the spoon. Yes, this is ready. Wouldn't you say so, Mom?
Oh, yes it is.
Okay, we're going to now put this on a plate over a bed of rice. Let's not forget about the pigtail. There you have it. Stew peas and rice, our traditional dish, courtesy of my mom, who contributed her recipe to today's episode. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
And I hope you enjoy this recipe as much as I have throughout my life. And we will see you on the next episode.